Divers have found the bodies of up to 40 children trapped in a room on the sunken pleasure cruiser on the Volga River. 207 people were on board the boat when it capsized. Around half of them have perished. RT's Tom Barton is near the Rescue Operation HQ in Tatarstan.
The people here have been waiting hour upon hour with their heads down. They haven't wanted to talk to us, the media. Some of them may be related to these young victims, some of them to other victims on board the boat. Some of them may still not have heard about the people they love, but this is certainly a great blow and puts a lot of confirmation to the fears of rescuers and their alike that none of those children inside that room managed to escape. We try and glance back at the journey that this boat took. It was sailing along the Volga River, popular river cruise location. Lots of people on their weekends and on their holidays, and some are like to go along that, when the boat got very rapidly into trouble. And when I say very rapidly, the whole thing had gone underwater in under 3 minutes. This is what gave rise to such a terrible death toll. The fact that people didn't even have time to put on their life jackets or to organise a proper kind of evacuation before the water was on them or they had to jump into the water. One of the relatives of victims on the boat earlier spoke about the ordeal that she has been through.
The boat leaned a bit. There were 3 of them in the cabin, my son, my daughter-in-law and my grandson. My son said he tried to open the cabin door holding his child when a wave crashed into them and he lost grip of my grandson. He said he swam towards the light and made it out alive, but I can't find my grandson or daughter-in-law. They're not on any lists. Now I'm waiting to see photos.
Well, hour upon hour pass in this last day and through the past night. On the small strip of sand behind me, boats have been leaving and arriving as shifts of divers and other rescue workers change. And they have been going down again and again to the wreck of the ship, to the sunken ship. They took some camera equipment with them and showed us some quite graphic footage of them bringing up bodies earlier on. Goodness knows what that footage would look like if they'd taken a camera into this room. But they have now said that they're not going to be able to bring all of these children's bodies out just through taking them through the ship alone. There was already a plan mooted to try and bring 2 ships up from Volgograd, specialist ships that could raise this ship up of the Bulgaria, and then they could make the extraction of those bodies easier. And they think that that is now what's going to happen, even though that'll take another 4 to 5 days to do. Of course, when that ship comes up, it'll be a culmination of what suddenly turned into their nightmare.
Our child remained on that boat.
It was a Sunday afternoon when the holiday river cruiser Bulgaria ran into difficulties on the Volga. Catastrophe came swiftly.
People were basically buried alive in a giant metal coffin. We managed to get out through the windows. I was there with my 10-year-old daughter. I couldn't rescue her. She swallowed too much water. When I was pulled out, I realized my child was gone.
The Bulgaria now lies at the bottom of the Volga.
The vessel sank in less than 3 minutes. It flipped to the right, then swerved and went down. We were literally thrown out, and that's how we survived. Our whole family was on that ship. We lost everybody, my wife and grandchildren. 2 vessels passed by and didn't even care to stop and reach out a helping hand. We'd spent around 2 hours in the water before we were rescued. I swam around searching for survivors and couldn't find anybody. There were a lot of children on this ship. They were all in the games room. It was impossible for them to get out of there. My grandson would be 5 years old tomorrow. We went on this ship to celebrate his birthday.
Many of the passengers were families with children on a weekend sightseeing break. Survivors and relatives, powerless to act, are now able only to wait and ask.
We are telephoning everyone trying to learn anything about our dear ones. We called the police, but they said to contact the search and rescue service. We did, but there was no reply. So we came here to find out at least something. But even here, nobody knows anything.
It's horrible. We haven't the slightest knowledge of what's going on. They should give us at least some information. We're calling the search and rescue service, but they don't answer the phone.
As many as 50 of the passengers were under 18 years old, hurled into the Volga 3 kilometres from the bank. These people behind me are just some of the relatives desperate for news about their loved ones. And what was a pleasure boat cruise has, for them, turned into a living nightmare. Tom Barton, RT, the Volga Bank.